Everyone, and in this video I will tell you about what is Trello application, how to use it, and how it can make your life easier in terms of executing the number of tasks which you have and how it can be used in order to manage some time. So this is a user interface of Trello application. You can download it if you have an iOS in App Store or you have an Android in Play Store, or actually you can use it via internet, doesn't matter. So what's the philosophy of this project? It's actually used for managing the number of projects in some manner. It's all up to you how you design the architecture of all your tasks. But I will share my philosophy how I do this. And first of all, let's create some board. So let's create some project which we will do, and let's name it some project example. Any project that you do, in one board there can be a multiple project, doesn't matter. You create this and you here, and now it's empty, you don't have any list. And what this list is used for, it's used to actually have the number of tasks there. And let's create some backlog, and these are the tasks which you need to do. And you can actually put here any task. So for instance, study topic 1, send some message to the person, or there can be any task. You can meet with someone, doesn't matter. And it's all about the backlog and why it's important, and how you can optimize this. Let me delay the explanation about that, and let me first create in process. So there can be a lot of tasks, and for instance, if in process is allocated for the week which you are in, only in this week you have to complete all this task here. You can put, for instance, if you need to meet it in this week, you put it in process, so you move this card to the in process list. And now you can also create some done list, and after you met with someone which you actually wanted to meet, you put it into done, and now it's completed. But now let me share with you some problems which users of this application might have in terms of managing their projects and actually executing the tasks which they give, why they gave up, why they do this so often. So for instance, in backlog we can put a lot of tasks, but what's the problem with that? If you have a lot of tasks, for your brain it might be difficult to actually do some stuff. So what if you have some limit in terms of the number of tasks which you can put into the backlog? So there are, for instance, 10 tasks, and you have to think very diligently in order to actually put the task there or not. Or the backlog can be allocated not for all your life, but only for the months. So if it's May, then it can be actually all about the May and the backlog. And in process, so it's the same for the in process. You can execute a lot of tasks simultaneously in the week. You can complete all of them. Or for instance, there can be such problem when you put 10 tasks and you just switch around all these tasks, and actually this process of switching for your brain is very stressful, and you can be ended up without completing any task at all. Or even if you completed some of them or all of them, they won't have the quality which you want to actually produce. So it's better to actually limit the number of the tasks which you put there. And also another optimization point is actually all the cards are the tasks, and if the difficulty of them will not be if the difficulty will not be the same, it will be drastically different. Then for instance, here we see that sending some message to the person starting the topic. Starting the topic is much more difficult than sending some message. Yes, and it would be actually more manageable if the difficulty of each task will be a little bit closer to each other. And actually you can also share this board to other people. You can create for each project, so for instance for studying, for meetings, for work, other boards. It's I think it's not so convenient because the switching between all the projects might be time consuming, might be stressful. So it's better to conserve all the stuff in this in one board. And don't consume yourself in only this paradigm. Maybe you create some board of the risks, and you put some risks in terms of how this project might fail. Maybe you don't have some time and you actually consider all the stuff. It's very useful to see in a big white the whole picture of your project, how it moves, whether it moves smoothly or not. Yeah, and for each task, so for instance for the studying of the topic, you can put some comments. It's very useful when you have this project shared between the team members, so you can actually put some activity, uh, some yeah, some checklist. So for instance, read this part, and when you completed it, you can actually label it as completed. You can also label this project, for instance, if it's red and it's of the high priority, you can actually do some deadline for the project. It's very useful because if you don't have the deadline, you won't be motivated to complete this task, so it's better to have the deadline for each task. And it's all different philosophy how to move the deadlines, how to actually allocate them. And there are a lot of other methods for managing the project, as critical path method, how to ensure the right distribution of the priorities between all the tasks and the scheduling of the project. So for instance, if you have some project, you have some tasks, from what task to begin, and what's the points of failure, how to deal with them, how to ensure the high quality in more depth. Maybe I will cover it in the future. For now, you can just create some Trello board and try to play around with that, and maybe you come up with some optimization point and your life will be easier. Maybe some of your projects will move more smoothly. So yes, that's all. Thank you for attention. If you have some questions, you can ask.